Back to Besa starts right now on Fox 13.
Welcome back to another episode of Back to Besa. I'm your host, Besa Gordon, and this week on the show, we're standing on business. Black businesses, that is. So grab your snacks because we have a lot to talk about today. This week on Back to Besa, we head to Bird Bar Place in the Central District for Africatown Community Land Trust's Building Black Wall Street Mixer and Chat, plus 23rd and Jackson for their annual Black Wall Street Market. We highlight 4 Black-owned coffee shops you should know about as we head to the Station Coffee Shop in Columbia City, Love a Latte and Campfire Coffee on Hilltop in Tacoma. Plus, we run it back to the time I went to Boom Boona Coffee in Renton for National Coffee Day. And you already know, we have events to know about. Up first, let's talk about Africatown Community Land Trust's Building Black Wall Street. Some of the most influential names in the Seattle Black business community came together at Bird Bar Place in the Central District for Africatown Community Land Trust's Building Black Wall Street Mixer and Chat to share experiences, offer advice, and strategize on how the community can deepen its impact to build economic stability through the current renaissance happening in the Central District. The mixer was hosted by author and Back to Besa 11 relationships coach Sabrina Jackson Gandy and keynoted by Central District business icon Louis Rudd, co-founder of Ezel's Famous Chicken. Before the panel discussion began, Africatown Community Land Trust's president and CEO K.Y. King Garrett gave a historical overview of Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, as well as the history of Black business in the Central District, while also giving insights to what ACLT is currently doing to further develop the Black business district in the Central District and beyond. There was also a panel filled with distinguished Black business owners, including Veronica Berry of Wild Gallery, Damon Bomar of Communion R&B, Ronnie Hines of Metier Brewing Company, and Monica C. Matthews of Queen Care Products, and was moderated by TV personality Jay Martin Jr. from PBS. The panel all shared parts of their business journey, especially when it comes to the challenges they faced and how they overcame them, as well as advice for up-and-coming entrepreneurs. Let's take a look at what happened last week at Bird Bar Place during the Building Black Wall Street Mixer and Chat.
Tonight was incredible, a gathering of Black businesses for the celebration of the inaugural kickoff of what is being called Black Wall Street.
Bring back that vibrant Black community that used to exist within the Central District decades ago, long before the gentrification took place. So there's an effort here to bring people together, bring resources together, combine efforts, and build that Black Wall Street.
This was a day of Black businesses gathering together to share secrets, if you will, give advice to each other, and uplift each other, while also having the component of networking to where you're actually able to mix and mingle and meet people that maybe you've been trying to get a hold of on social media.
I think 3, if not all of us, said something about the responsibility we have to give back to our community. And I think that's part of our DNA as Black folks and what we learned in church. And so for me, what I might offer up is what I would hope I get from others, is that continued mentorship. It's that opportunity and need to be vulnerable, to say I don't know everything and I need help, and to seek out others who can be a part of that community that helps to keep us going.
I think it's a great opportunity for the bank to really see and feel how we can help Black businesses within the Central District. So we're just coming out to really listen to the people, and in my role to be able to take that back to my leadership team to give ideas and make connections with our entrepreneurs in Seattle.
We're building Africatown, so of course we're building a Black Wall Street, right? You know, talk about today from Tulsa to the Central, from the Greenwood District to the Central District to Rosewood, Bronzeville, Black Bottom. You know, we have many Black Wall Streets around this country. We are here to, you know, honor that. What a lot of people don't know is that within 3 years of the bombing, they have rebuilt it to the one that we actually know was thriving more than it was actually. One of the important things is that when these dollars are, you know, allocated to address the harms and damages that have happened to the Black community, which is well documented, we have to make sure that they stay focused on the Black community. the flow of capital in community is critical for black businesses. So a key part of this was giving connections to have access to capital, to be aware of resources that are earmarked for black businesses often, but if the entrepreneurs don't know about it, sometimes those end up in other places.
So let me talk about some of the challenges. We did not understand the racial barriers. The benefit of having more black-owned businesses and having that Black Wall Street is so much bigger than just business people making money. We are able to now get our kids off the street who won't work for the man. There's data out there that shows that there's a direct relationship. We need to create more black-owned businesses, therefore creating more mentors, black coaches, black leaders, and then there will be more black businesses. Tonight's event was very important. The room had a lot of people that are motivated to come together, to collaborate for a common cause. And too many times I've seen in our community where we just can't come together and work together. And we're unstoppable as a team.
We need more businesses. We need more black businesses. We need to fill out these empty vacant spaces. We need to create more culture. We need to create more an environment for affluence here in Seattle. And so this kind of gives us an opportunity to network, come together, trade stories, trade experiences, kind of look at each other and have really like an inspiration to look forward to.
Don't go it alone. You don't have to go it alone. I didn't go it alone. I am a product of my community. I'm a product of the Central District community. That is where I learned about entrepreneurship. That is where I learned the importance of community development, and that is where I built my business.
Spaces like this, where there was probably at least 50 to 100 people in this room. Every single service that you need was right here. Doesn't matter if it was food, housing, banking, beauty, lifestyle, love coaching, it was here. So not only are we all we got, we're all we really need. And everything that we needed was right here today. The Building Black Wall Street Mixer and Chat was part of Africatown Community Land Trust's Summer of Soul series, which runs through the summer of 2024. It includes events like Reunion on Union, Juneteenth, as well as Umoja Fest. To learn more, visit africatownlandtrust.org. Speaking of the Summer of Soul series, the Mixer was just the kickoff to the series of events to come. Last week, we showed you what went down at Black Wall Street Market 2023, where over 100 black businesses filled the streets of 23rd and Jackson, and community came together to celebrate and remember the vibrant history of thriving black commercial centers throughout the country by creating Seattle's own Black Wall Street. This year was no different, while there was also the addition of Vibe Bingo and the Double Dutch Divas. During the event, I caught up with Africatown Community Land Trust's President and CEO, KY King Garrett, host of the day with Trey Holiday, Keisha Garrison, founder of Hey Black Seattle, and Darnisha Bowman, the owner of Black Coffee Northwest. Let's take a look at what went down this year at honoring our Black Wall Street. Hey guys, Besa Gordon here. We are on 23rd and Jackson for the Africatown Community Land Trust's Black Wall Street. Dude, we have 100 black businesses in the building. You can get your teeth cleaned, you can grab some food, you can get some clothes. I definitely pulled up the Platinum Plex and grabbed myself a jacket. We got Vibe Bingo, Double Dutch Divas, and so much more. Every single thing that you need is right here. Let's check out what we got.
This is Black Wall Street for a day, but it represents the work of Africatown and what we want to see every day, bringing these black businesses. We saw Catfish Corner and Terrell Jackson come back to the community we started in the tent. So it's all about economic development, circulating the black dollar, and that's what Africatown has been committed to, creating space and supporting, getting resources to our community so that our businesses can thrive. You know, a wise man once told me, if you don't have businesses in a community, then you don't have any business in that community.
This is our home, so we are excited to be here and celebrate each other and just the black enterprise, to keeping the black dollar in our community, showcasing all of our amazing entrepreneurs. So that's hard work out here, being a business owner, entrepreneur, celebrating each other's wins, and just having a good time networking and buying.
This is so important because it's one thing to kind of know about each other and know that we're here, but when you see your people and you actually get to be in touch with folks and be in community, it's a whole nother level. So we need moments like this where we can see each other in droves. Black community in Seattle has deep roots and a lot of super creative people who are building things when they don't see it happening and actually working together to get it done. This is a warm and rich Black community, and people think that we're not here because we're very surrounded by a lot of people who ain't Black, but baby, we've been here and we're gonna be here for a long time.
Well, you know, when we think about the history of the Central District, it's always important for us to bring that back. And that's what some of the younger generation may not, they weren't grew up with it, right? So we got to bring it back for them to see. You know, when I was growing up here, there was all types of businesses that I could patron, that my family could patron. You know, being in the Central District is important because it showcases that we are still here. We care about the Central District. Being right here on Jackson is putting everybody on notice that we are here to stay in the CD. You know what? Black Seattle is thriving, honey. We are resilient. We are resistant in ways that actually benefit us as a community. We are so strong and we are collaborative and collective. That's what this event showcases.
Dude, if you didn't make it to Black Wall Street this year, I hope that you come next year because like I always say, we got everything that we need right here in our community. Now in the meantime, I'm gonna give me some food. Dude, I bought so much food this year. And I even got a double Dutch lesson from Angie of the Double Dutch Divas. I'm not gonna hold you, I was a little reluctant on trying the double Dutch, but with the help of Angie, I'm going to say I killed it. Because the last time I tried the double Dutch, let's just say I didn't do so well. Anywho, shout out to Nikita Mathis of Platinum Plush Fashions who gifted me a new jacket. And shout out to Africatown Community Land Trust for always creating space for the Black community in Seattle to come together and support each other. Now, just like Black Wall Street's Mixer and Chat, the market was part of the Summer of Soul series, which runs through the summer of 2024 and includes, once again, events like Reunion on Union, Juneteenth, as well as Moja Fest. And of course, to learn more, you can head over to africatownlandtrust.org. We're off to our first commercial break, but when we come back, we're talking about 4 Black-owned coffee shops you should know about. Welcome back to Besa. Love a Latte, owned by Andrea McCarthy, sits in Tacoma's Hilltop neighborhood. I remember the first time someone tagged them in my comments on Instagram, and the first thing I noticed was the pink explosion all over the shop, along with the artwork that graced the walls curated by Bruce Pickford. What's dope about Andrea's story is that she actually worked there for 10 years before buying the coffee shop once the owners were ready to sell it. Talk about falling in love with what you do. Let's take a moment to learn more about Love a Latte and how Andrea became its owner.
I'm Andrea McCarthy, owner of Love a Latte Espresso. Welcome to the Pink. I love it. I feel like retail for me, that's what I went to school for, but I feel like it was very rah. Here, you meet new people there, but here you meet new people, you get new experiences, and you just build like a community. And so I just wanted to stay. I just loved it. I quit Payless and I was here full time. So I worked here for 10 years before I bought my coffee stand, and then I had it for about 1.5 years, and then they finally said they were ready to sell, and so I got it last November. It is amazing. It is amazing. I know tons of people that have like lived in the community, have moved away, they still come back. Even when I was just working here, I was just a manager. When they found that I was buying it, they have been such a support. I wouldn't be able to make it out there. Listen, when I first moved here, people were like, this is not the place to be, but yeah, I have not experienced that ever. This is the place to be. It's thriving, especially with the new things that they're building and, you know, the new businesses and stuff. I feel like the Hilltop is thriving here. I think the Black community is thriving here. Georgia Peach. That's my new one right now. That's getting a lot of no attention. It is just a peach tea lemonade. You can put Lotus in it, which is like natural energy if you want, or add a little Red Bull to it, but yeah, it's real refreshing. Bruce, he was just a person, he just came in and said, hey, I got some artwork. I got a picture that I think you'll love. So that's when we got the first piece right behind me. You literally just come in and say, hey, I got some stuff that I want to sell. I don't charge anything. You tell me what you got. I put it up and I sell it for you. I'm a transient here, you know, and just like the people, how they support me, I want to support back. I meet tons of business owners every day. Some are struggling, some are doing well, but they want to get their information out. They want to get their product out. Black joy is experiencing each other, I feel like. Just walking past each other in the head nod. You just know, if you know, you know. We don't got to say nothing to each other. It's just a feeling that we all get.
So due to my eczema flare-ups, I'm not supposed to drink coffee right now. So while I was there, I ordered a matcha latte. And let me tell you, that had to be the best matcha latte I've ever had. Gotta love a coffee shop that has great options for everyone, right? One thing you didn't hear in this segment is that Andrea is part of the Pierce County Business Accelerator program, where they teach you all you need to know about running a business for 6 weeks. Plus, it's a matching grant. So basically, if she raises $10,000, she gets another $10,000 from the program. And when I asked Andrea what she would do with the money if she got that $10,000, she said she would redo her floors because it's the only thing in her coffee shop that isn't pink. Be sure to stop by Love a Latte when you're in the Hilltop area. And to help her raise that 10K, head on over to her Instagram at love.a.latte.espresso and click the link in her bio for the donation. It's time for another commercial break, but when we come back, we're headed to the Station Coffee Shop in Columbia City. Welcome back to Back2Besa. The Station Coffee Shop, owned by Leona Moore Rodriguez and Luis Rodriguez, has been serving up coffee to the Seattle community for 14 years and have now officially opened their Columbia City location. The Station Coffee Shop is not only known for their tasty coffee drinks, but also their food items and community events. Let's take a moment to tap in with the Station Coffee Shop's co-owner, Leona, to learn about how they got into the coffee business.
Hi, I'm Leona Moore Rodriguez, co-owner of the Station Coffee Shop. Welcome to our home. My husband and his brother started a coffee shop in 1994, and when we met in high school, I worked for them at their coffee shop called Java Love on Beacon Hill. That's when my love for coffee elevated. And so fast forward years later, we decided to open up our own coffee shop, and that's how the station began. When I first became a barista, I enjoyed it. I didn't dislike it, but it was just work. But now that I own my own space, it's more than that. It's like this is my third child. Now at the new shop, it's my fourth child. There's just so much love and hard work that goes into it that is so satisfying to own a coffee shop, and to be Black and a woman to own a coffee shop is even more. It was so rare, and it's becoming more and more a reality for more Black women. I always tell people we can ice anything. We don't do blended, but we can ice any drink you like. Our most popular drink that people love is the D'Angelo. That's our brown sugar latte, made with brown sugar, hence the name D'Angelo. It is so good on ice, and I make those probably, I don't know, a million times a day. I mean, that's over-exaggerating, but I make a lot. We do sell energy drinks that are locally made here, and they're called All In. That's good to have if you don't want to have coffee and you don't want to have that crazy coffee hangover. That's a good suggestion. But coffee-wise, I would say the D'Angelo for sure. Obviously our Mocha Mexicano, which is our mocha made with Mexican hot chocolate, and which is also good iced. Those two are probably the most popular, as well as our caramel latte. This month in May is our 14th anniversary, so we've been open for 14 years, and we haven't had a block party in years. So next year, we're planning to have a station quinceañera. Most people know it's the 15th birthday of a young person in the Mexican culture. So we decided to have a quinceañera for the station next year. So we have to figure out what we're gonna do exactly, but most likely it'll be a block party. We'll have people vending, just a big party to celebrate 15 years, because we're not going anywhere. We're very blessed to be here. We don't take anything for granted. We are working our butts off to, contribute to the community, especially to the new community in Columbia City for us. And we're just gonna do our best to kick butt and make everyone happy and keep everyone caffeinated. I lived in Columbia City from when I was 13 until 18 before I moved to Beacon Hill. This is my old neighborhood, my old stomping grounds. Why not come back? My mother's still here. We needed a coffee shop like this in Columbia City. I feel like we need a coffee shop like the station in every neighborhood in Seattle. If I could do that, I would. So we'll start with Columbia City.
When I first found out they were opening a location in Columbia City, I was hyped because I actually lived right across the street from there in the Rainier Vistas after my family moved out from the Central District. And let me tell you, I wish we had a spot like that when I was in the neighborhood. Dude, the closest place for me to grab coffee back then was over at Starbucks by Franklin. And there wasn't many food options, let alone healthy ones. So I love that they're adding that to the growing business community in the area. To learn more about the Station Coffee Shop, head on over to thestationbh.com. It's time for another commercial break, but when we come back, we're headed back to the Hilltop neighborhood in Tacoma to learn more about Campfire Coffee. Welcome back to Back2Besa. Quincy and Whitney Henry's coffee story starts with an unexpected layoff and an unexpected work injury happening back to back. And with 3 kids, 2 cars, and a mortgage to pay, they needed to think fast on what they were going to do to keep food on the table and a roof over their heads. It wasn't until they had a long conversation driving through the mountains of Utah and Eastern Oregon after the Thanksgiving holiday that they were led to the simple yet exciting idea of opening a coffee shop that is outdoorsy with a social goal of getting diverse groups in nature. And boom, Campfire Coffee Co. was born. Well, sort of. It definitely wasn't easy getting the coffee shop up and running to the beloved brand that it is today. While in the Tacoma Hilltop neighborhood, we caught up with the co-owner, Quincy Henry, to learn more about their journey to opening Campfire Coffee Co. Let's check it out.
Hey everybody, I'm Quincy Henry, the co-owner and CEO of Campfire Coffee. Love to welcome everybody into the shop. Got into coffee because I needed a job. My wife and I both, within the span of like 2.5 months, have lost our jobs. That Thanksgiving, we were in Utah visiting my wife's family, and on the drive back home, that's when we had the discussion. What are we gonna do? And on that whole drive home, 13 hours, is where Campfire was dreamt up. Roasting coffee was not part of the plan. We had no aspirations to roast coffee. That came because no roasters wanted to work with us. Spring of 2019, my wife is talking to her sister in Texas and explaining the whole process. Yeah, we got the lease, we got the spot, but we can't find a roaster. My sister-in-law suggested, you guys camp all the time, why don't you roast over a campfire? You just need a heat source, right? We thought we were gonna get this shop open holiday season of 2019 going into 2020, which didn't happen because it's construction, things happen. Going into 2020, boom, state shuts down. COVID is a thing. We're in here with a shop that is nowhere near complete and merchandise made. I got coffee that we had been roasting over the open flame. What little merch we had and I think we had 50 bags of coffee, and we started the online store, and that's how we really got rolling. By the time we hit July, we went from doing 50 bags a week to, I think at that point we were close to 250 bags a week and still like 100 pieces of merch every Friday, and it was still selling out. We sold out every single week until we got this open August 17th of 2020. 4 that we keep on all the time. Mountaintop is our flagship blend. Then we have Summer Camp, which is in Trader Joe's. Then we've got Starry Night, which is an Ethiopian. We've got a Colombian decaf. Flavors it's interesting because people that know that we roast over a fire, they kind of go into it not knowing what to expect. So you'll get feedback. People that either say oh my gosh, I can taste the smokiness, but this tastes like you might have used hickory. People almost use our coffee they start going real deep into it. You know what I mean? It's oh my gosh, were you using cedar with this, or were you using maple? Whatever. It's maybe, it's usually a mix of wood that I use. You've got to get a toasted marshmallow cold brew, or you got to get a s'mores latte. That's one thing I pride our menu, right? A lot of roasters tend to get a little bit too fancy. They just want you to taste the coffee. You should be just drinking, and that's fine because we can do that too. But we like to have fun with the drinks. Kayla even this morning sent a text to our group thread for the summer menu, a dope drink that we're gonna put on. So really, you can't go wrong with any of the drinks, in my mind. But if you're really gonna do it, you gotta do something that takes you straight to camping. S'mores latte, or get yourself a toasted marshmallow, cream cold brew. If it wasn't for Tacoma, I don't know if there is a campfire. That's real. There's a defining trait about this city. That's it. If we rocking with it, we rocking with it. We rocking with it. The Black community in Tacoma has always been strong, but I feel like right now, there is this movement of sorts that is literally moving. We're having meetings in here, but people are coming to the hot seat. Gosh, I've met a few people, even just at the last one, at meetups for Black entrepreneurs here in the shop. Black creative community, we all know each other, we all support each other's work, but it seems like now there's the talk, there's the idea, but then there's action items to follow. If you are going camping and you need the campfire startup kit, here's what I would say. Come through to the shop, get yourself a nice toasted marshmallow cream cold brew, and then you go over your 10 essentials. If you need the outdoor gear, the camping gear, we got that too. You can check that out for free from us. Go and get you a bag of coffee, get to your favorite camping spot, and just enjoy that. That's what it's made for. The new locations we're opening, all that information about what we're doing, how we're doing it, why we're doing it, go to welovecampfire.com.
What I love most about their story of opening a coffee shop is that it may have come out of necessity, but it also came organically. Like Quincy said, it wasn't their goal to roast their own coffee beans. It became the only option after roasting companies wouldn't want to work with them. Sometimes you really do have to roll with the punches to truly get the best result. To learn more about Campfire Coffee Co. and even purchase some of their merch, head on over to welovecampfire.com. Okay, now that you know of some new coffee spots, we're headed to another commercial break. But when we come back, we are running it back to the time I pulled up to Boom Boona Coffee in Renton for National Coffee Day. Of course, you're watching Back2Besa. Welcome back to Back2Besa. With Back2Besa coming up on its 1-year anniversary, it's only right that we take a look back at the first coffee shop we've ever featured on the show, and that's Boom Boona Coffee. Boom Boona, which is owned by Efron Fasaha, who first opened his flagship location in Renton on January 14th, 2019. Now, although Efron grew up in Seattle, where we're known for our grab-and-go coffee culture, his Eritrean family performed the traditional coffee ceremony that is part of daily life in Eritrean and Ethiopian households. After a trip to Asmara, Eritrea, his love for East African coffee culture truly took root. Inspired by the slower pace and welcoming community of Eritrean cafes, Efron returned to Seattle with a heartfelt mission. He was determined to share the unique flavors and traditions of East Africa, where coffee is not just a drink, but a daily pause and a chance to gather with friends and family. Now, last September, our cameras pulled up to Boom Boona for National Coffee Day, where I got to learn about the process of coffee cupping, which is the practice of observing the taste and aromas of brewed coffee. I tried their seasonal drinks, and Efron showed me the traditional Ethiopian coffee ceremony. Let's head on over to Boom Boona Coffee in Renton for this week's Back2Besa Blast from the Past. I don't know if you know this, but September 29th is National Coffee Day. So I had to pull up on Efron over at Boom Boona right here in Renton, Washington to not only learn about coffee, but find out how that coffee bean goes from a bean and gets into our cup. We're gonna learn some traditional coffee making practices. We're gonna learn what cupping is, which is actually a very, very dope process. Plus, we're also going to try some of their seasonal flavors and a little bit more. Let's check out what goes down today. Okay, Ali, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. I'm not gonna hold you. I just counted about 12 cups in front of me, all right? Nice. We got some some cards that are over. We got
Yeah.
some names on them. We got some that are turned over. What is happening here?
It is cupping happening here. Cupping is basically the main tool, most common tool for sensory evaluation in coffee. And it's used for different purposes. It's easy to set up, easy to repeat. And so yeah, that's why it's easy for a standardized testing sensory evaluation.
Okay, well shoot, what's the first part of cupping?
So we weigh this out, and then I'm going to grind it back there on the grinder, bring it back here, and I will pour hot water. Let it brew for 4 minutes. There's gonna be a crust forming on top. So this is breaking the crust. You get really close, and then just swirl the top. It just breaks it apart, but you really get in there so you can get the smell.
All right, you guys, we are still at Boona in Renton, but right now I have the man of the hour, the owner himself, Efron, with me.
What's up, Besa?
Dude, I'm excited, okay? Tell me, like, this. We have a lot of things going on here, and we
Yeah.
have some beautiful cups in front of us. Can you
Yeah.
tell me, like, what we got going on right now?
Yeah, so what we're about to do, this is the traditional coffee ceremony. So this is traditional to Ethiopia, Eritrea, even kind of goes a little bit outside of those places too. But what we're going to start off with is green coffee, so the raw product. So this came directly from Ethiopia itself. And then we're going to roast it with a pan. Ethiopia is the birthplace of coffee. And so you've got a little bit of a story behind it. I'll share you that story with you. So start off though, I got a little bit of green coffee in my pan. So it's all set up, ready to go.
It's almost like it's not even about, like, you know, how here we're drinking coffee to wake up.
Yeah.
You guys are drinking it as like a bonding and a way to come together.
Yeah, I would say that that's a big part of it, is definitely the bonding, is the community that happens around the coffee. I mean, I'll be honest too, like, yeah, you need to kind of wake up to, but it kind of goes beyond that, because the amount of time you're spending there is to cultivate that. So so I added the water, I'm just shaking it up just to stir it all up. I'm gonna turn on the heat now, and we're gonna put that clay pot, that jebana, directly on top. So this is at a full brew. I'm gonna put the cap right on it. That kind of helps retain the heat. I'm gonna take the jebana, let it sit over there. You know, for me, when I go and visit my family and we're having the coffee this way, it's therapeutic. It's a time to, you know, gossip. It's a time to laugh. It's a time to, you know, even mourn. But it's a valuable time, and so it's something that I always look forward to. And of course, you know, to get this experience in the cafe setting, you know, it takes a little bit more time or whatnot. But we want to try finding a good balance between this kind of traditional approach and that of like, yo, I need my espresso to go. Thank you so much first, you know, for having tried black coffee for your first time and doing it the Jebana style. It's incredible. You got to do the cupping as well.
Yes.
But these are seasonal drinks, and so the first one is an almond anise. The second one is a salted pumpkin caramel latte. So we ain't just trying to do a, you know, regular pumpkin latte, you know. This is a salted pumpkin caramel latte. You know, we make the caramel in-house. The whole entire pumpkin, it's your real puree of pumpkin. This last one, I can't wait for you to try it, is what we call bezo or tehni. And this is a common kind of breakfast, you know, beverage in the mornings in East Africa.
This was so much more than what I expected coming in here today. So I'm so happy that we were able to, you know, do the crusting and the cupping and actually roast the coffee beans, because like, again, like, you're able to see these things so differently when you're really able to see it go from coffee bean to your cup.
Yeah, exactly.
Boom Boona Coffee has 3 locations, one in Renton, another in Capitol Hill, and their newest location in the UW bookstore. To learn more about Boom Boona Coffee, head on over to boomboonacoffee.com. Okay guys, we're off to another commercial break, but when we come back, it's time for events to know about. Welcome back to Back2Besa. I'm your host, Besa Gordon, and it's time for events to know about, where I tell you about all the events happening around the city that you don't want to miss. So let's jump right into it. First up,
The Genius Conference. This is going down on June 7th over at Langston Hughes. Black Trans Comedy Showcase. Dude, this is happening over at SIF Cinema Egyptian. STG presents Elevate, Rise, or Lift to a Higher Position. This is going down at Neptune. Juneteenth Black Rodeo Road Trip. Honey, this is happening over in Portland, okay? And you guys know I love a good Portland trip. You can never go wrong. Pride at Path with Art. This is happening over at 200 Mercer Street on June 20th. Now, of course, I went to this a couple years ago, but you definitely want to pull up this year. Trap Kitchen Weekend. This is going down at the Roseland Theater. Of course, this is also in Portland. This is happening June 23rd. Pioneer Square Fest 2024 is going down on July 5th. July 26th, Therapy Fund presents Reclaiming Wellness Behavioral Health Conference. This is going down at Green River College. And I actually went to this last year and it was really, really good and super inspirational, okay? And then also you have Kane Brown in the Air Tour 2024. This is going down at T-Mobile Park, August 16th.
Okay guys, that is it for this week's events to know about. Hopefully you found something dope to do around the city. And of course, if you have an event that I should know about, as always, send me an email, Back2Besa@whereweconverge.com. It's time for our last commercial break, but when we come back, it's time for Affirmation of the Week. Welcome back to Back2Besa. Of course, I'm your host, Besa Gordon. If you're new here, we like to end the show each week with a quote, mantra, or affirmation. This one is kind of all of the three. So this week's quote, affirmation, and mantra is show up anyways. Now, we've been here for about a year. I feel a little more comfortable telling you guys my business, and if you follow me on social media, you know I've been dealing with my eczema flare-ups, which is why I have all this discoloration. My face is one color, my neck is another color, I got bruises on my hands. It's a whole situation. I've actually developed something called topical steroid withdrawal, which we'll talk about another day, but in the meantime, definitely feel free to look it up. I say all of this to say, I show up today I'm not gonna hold y'all, today was a hard day. I cried half the day. One of my coworkers called me and I was just bawling and he's like, what's going on? I was like, my skin, I'm itchy, it's burning. My skin was splitting. I couldn't stay moisturized. I really can't stay moisturized a lot these days, but I digress. And I was just like, I just don't feel pretty. And on a day like this, when I have to sit here and be in front of you guys and just be like, hey guys, Besa Gordon here, it can sometimes be very, very hard for me to muster that up. But I do it anyways because I love what I do. And I love showing up for you guys. And I love uplifting our Black businesses and our Black community and just all of the beautiful things that I get to talk about on this show. It is worth me coming here and showing up in front of you guys, just not feeling or even feeling that I look my best. You know, it's kind of like my buddy Quincy was saying, you know, when they first started their coffee shop, they wanted to, they were ready, but then they had the issue of finding a roaster. Nobody wanted to work with them. So what did they do? They showed up anyways by finding a way around to do it. It wasn't necessarily an easy situation. Probably wasn't even comfortable at first trying to figure out how to roast those coffee beans, but now they are a known coffee brand and they are sold in Trader Joe's. So I say all of that to say this. You're gonna have days when you are going after your dreams and when you're doing what you love and you don't wanna get out of bed. There were multiple times today where I was just like, man, can we just voice over this whole show because I look crazy. I feel crazy, my skin's burning. And I don't know if I can get this coat off so you guys can see these bruises that I got going on without messing up my mic, but this is what's really been going on underneath my clothes. This is why I've been wearing a lot of long sleeves. This is why I've been wearing a lot of turtlenecks, because this is probably the least confident that I've felt about my outer appearance in a while. But it's okay, because I'm doing what I love. And if anyone else is also going through these skin situations, I really do hope that me showing up like this gives you some inspiration to do it anyways. Because you're not just showing up for yourself, you're showing up for those that look up to you, right? You're showing up for your future self. You're pushing back past those boundaries to be like, man, I really don't want to do this, but you can do it. For me, with what I'm going through right now, it's temporary. So I really do have to pick myself up and get out the house. whatever your goal is, make sure it is big enough and it's shiny enough to where you are able to show up no matter how unconfident that you are in the moment. Or like me, I literally do not feel that pretty right now. I don't feel myself, but I'm still here. I'm still standing on business, Black business that is, and I'm still putting on for my city. So look, no matter what your goal is, friend, make sure that you make that goal so big and shiny that no matter what, you don't give up on yourself. Because as I always say, your future will thank you for it. Alrighty. Now that I've fixed my face, look you guys, that is it for this week's episode of Back to Besa. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the show. I hope that you've learned about some new Black-owned businesses, and I also hope that you pop up to some of the coffee shops that we've talked about today, all right? As usual, I wanna thank you all for watching, especially for those of you that have been with us since day one. Dude, July 1st, yes, July 1st. We will be 1 year old, and I just can't wait to continue highlighting our stories across the Pacific Northwest and beyond. So anywho, until next time, you guys already know what I'm gonna say. Thank you for watching. I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day. And of course, keep that energy high.
Cute with it, you better pop it.
Oh God,
when
I'm
you're
nervous.
In there, crisscross.
I don't know how to do all that, Angie.
I'm gonna tell you. If you just, I'm gonna tell you everything to do, and then I'm gonna be like, put your hands in the air and have a party. You're gonna have a party, okay? We're gonna have a whole house party.
I'm gonna have a party with the ropes on the ground.
A whole house party. You understand me? That's what it's all about.
God.
We're doing things out here that people ain't never done before. It's unity in the community. Basa's out. She's about to pop it. Watch. You look fantastic.
Thank you.
And you're about to be that. Okay? Yeah. No. Check it out. Check it out. Go faster. Now get cute. Put your hands in the air. There you go. Yes. Pick your feet up. Pick your feet up. Yes. Keep going. Yes. Keep going. Don't give up. Keep going. Don't be so. Don't give up. Keep going.
In my feelings, I'm going to guard.
Yeah.